Welcome to the Road Bridge Visual Standards presentation for excavations. This is an extremely important topic for Road Bridge and our supply chain, as excavation activities are common across all our projects, no matter the sector or client that we are working for. Excavations can take many different shapes and sizes for us, but the principles remain the same. As construction workers, our thought process around excavation-related issues often only focus on collapse and crush injuries. While these are the obvious potential issues, other issues are just as significant, and we should always be aware of this when carrying out excavation activities. These include, but are not limited to, plant-worker interaction, plant control in the works area, proximity to underground and/or overhead services, public interaction, working at height issues, access and egress issues, lifting activities related to the task, and simultaneous operations affecting other work areas. Unfortunately, serious incidents involving excavations can often have catastrophic results for those involved, their colleagues, their families, and also us as a company. This visual standard has been broken into 10 individual stages to try to cover these issues as mentioned. While the location, scenario, and setup of excavations can vary across our projects, we believe if we follow these stages in principle on how to complete an excavation safely from start to finish, we will greatly reduce the potential for incidents in the future. Before the commencement of any works, appropriate planning and coordination must be in place. This requires approved method statements and risk assessments to be developed to highlight the hazards and controls required to safely complete the works. For excavations, this will also include a pre-works desktop survey and the obtaining of all utility drawings. A pre-work site survey of the area to be excavated must be completed by a competent person. This will include the identification of any signs or evidence of potential services, such as manhole covers, street furniture, overhead services, etc. Where overhead services are within our work zone, ensure these services are delineated and protected accordingly before works commence. Where required, implement Chapter 8 traffic management signage and barrier systems to protect the workforce from live traffic. Also implement an appropriate fencing system to segregate the works from the public and pedestrians. This will be identified as part of the method statement and risk assessment for the works. The survey will also include the use of a CAT and Genie to identify potential underground services. As part of the pre-work site survey, all identified services must be clearly marked with appropriate marker paints such as yellow for gas, blue for water, red for electric, and green for telecom or fiber optics. An excavation permit, also known as a permit to dig, should be completed and submitted to the relevant appointed project authorizer before works commence. This permit will have recorded the relevant issues relating to the works and identify the controls which must be in place to allow works to commence. Before works commence, the supervisor must brief the work team. This is recorded using our pre-task briefing. It will identify and reiterate the hazards and control measures specifically relating to the works and also incorporate the relevant information from the method statements and risk assessments. This will also reference any ongoing simultaneous operations or relevant information identified on the Project Daily Coordination Board and/or coordination meetings. This is also a good time to raise any potential queries you may have with the proposed works plan. Details from the excavation permit will also be briefed. All those involved must have previously signed the Your Safe Path, Your Sustainable Path Charter Board, confirming adherence to the Road Bridge critical safety rules and sustainability pledges. Areas where services have been identified will require trial holes to be dug, using hand-digging techniques to locate and determine depth and route of each service. An excavator may be used to scrape and remove loose spoil with a toothless bucket. However, no excavations are to take place directly over or within 500 millimeters of any identified or suspected service. Appropriate hand tools must be used when hand digging, such as insulated shovels. Continuous scanning using the CAT and Genie must be completed throughout the dig. While digging trial holes, additional class of PPE may be required, and this will be identified and communicated as part of the method statement and risk assessments. As you can also see here, an overhead services goalpost has been erected within the works area with appropriate warning signage. Dependent on ground conditions, excavations may require shoring. These will be installed as per design and signed off as safe to use by a competent engineer. Safe access must be provided at all times. This may be in the form of a ladder. The ladder should be tied, inspected, and appropriate for use. An approved barrier system should also be implemented to prevent work at height issues and warning signs erected accordingly. All excavated spoil must be removed and stored in a safe location away from the excavation edges. Plant and machinery must also be kept a safe distance away from excavations. Again, dependent on ground conditions, excavations may be battered and/or stepped. A sloped access ramp or stairs should be provided with suitable handrails. The access ramp gradient should have an appropriate safe ratio to allow safe access and egress at all times. Suitable edge protection should also be implemented around excavations with warning signs erected accordingly. While loading and unloading directly to or from site dumpers, forward tipping dumpers without a protected cab as per this illustration, the driver should dismount and stand in a safe location. Where plant is working in restricted areas or where plant is interacting with other plant or pedestrians, a banksman should be implemented to assist in the safe coordination of their movements. A plan should be in place for the coordination of any deliveries to the work area. This is even more important when the work area is interacting with the public. Loading and unloading should only take place a safe distance from any open excavations with an exclusion zone set up. A lift plan and banksman or slinger signaler must be in place to assist both the coordination of the delivery, as per the illustration, and subsequently to assist in the unloading of the delivery in a safe fashion as per the activity lift plan. After the completion of the works, excavations must be suitably backfilled and the area made safe. Marker boards and/or tape for services should be installed complying with industry standards. An as-built survey should also be completed and recorded by the designated person. If required, underground service markers should be installed, and this is especially important where services will become live in the future within an active work area. As with any works we complete, the area should be left in a safe manner and all associated work items removed to a protected area accordingly. The traffic management system, if in place, should also be removed as per the approved method statement and risk assessments by competent personnel only. By following the principles of this visual standard, we will ensure the risk of issues and injuries associated with excavations will be greatly reduced. Should you have any questions, feel free to contact any member of the Road Bridge Safety and/or Project Management team to discuss further. Thank you for participating, and please ensure these safe practices are implemented always. Road Bridge: People, Engineering, Infrastructure.